You know, every successful business, at some point, hits a wall. You're growing, things are great, but suddenly your operations just can't keep up. Today, we're going to talk about exactly how you can scale your business without getting bogged down by your own success.
It's a classic paradox, isn't it? You're finally expanding, you're winning new business, but your expert finance team looks like they're drowning in paperwork. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, well, you are definitely not alone.
And here's why that happens. Every new client, every single vendor, every transaction, it all adds another layer of complexity. And all those necessary, routine tasks, the day-to-day grind of financial management, they can start to feel like an anchor, literally holding back your most talented people and your company's momentum.
So let's really break this down. As your business scales, the sheer volume of these essential financial tasks can become totally overwhelming. Now, this isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's just a natural, if not painful, growing pain.
I bet this scene feels pretty familiar. You've got your most valuable financial experts, and they are just buried under piles of routine stuff. Taxes, compliance, daily invoice processing. Look, these tasks are absolutely the bedrock of a healthy business, but as they pile up, they just eat away at time, pulling your team away from strategic thinking and forcing them into purely reactive administrative work.
Okay, so how do you handle this growing workload without just hiring more and more people? Well, it all comes down to working smarter, not just harder. Let's dig into what that strategy actually looks like.
And here it is, the core idea. Outsourcing isn't about just getting rid of tasks. It's about strategically reallocating them. You let specialists handle all that high-volume, repetitive work, which, in turn, frees up your internal experts to focus on what they really do best, things like financial planning, analysis, and big-picture strategy.
A perfect example of this is taxes. For so many businesses, tax season is just this period of intense pressure and all-consuming work that brings everything else to a grinding halt.
At its core, tax outsourcing is really simple. It just means you partner with a team that lives and breathes tax law. These are specialists who can handle the nitty-gritty work of preparing returns and organizing all that documentation with a level of precision and expertise that's tough to match in-house.
So what does that partnership look like in practice? Well, it's not just about filling out some forms. It's a full-service process. They take your records, make sure everything is perfectly organized for filing, and, this is the big one, they make sure you are fully compliant with all those ever-changing regulations.
Now, taxes might be seasonal, but paying your bills, that's a year-round job. And that brings us to our second key area, accounts payable, or AP. This is really the daily operational engine of your finances, managing all the money flowing out to your suppliers.
And just like with taxes, AP outsourcing means you're handing over a very specific function to a team that specializes in it. In this case, it's managing and paying all your vendor invoices. They handle that entire workflow from the second an invoice hits your inbox to the moment the payment goes out the door.
This whole workflow is pretty much the administrative backbone of your relationships with your suppliers. Every single step here is critical, from getting an invoice to verifying it, logging it, scheduling the payment, and finally, sending the funds. Outsourcing this process just ensures it's all done efficiently and accurately every single time.
Okay, so we've laid out the solutions, but what's the actual, tangible payoff for your business? This is where the strategy really starts to get powerful.
Look at this. It's a complete transformation. Your team goes from being totally bogged down in admin to focusing on strategic growth. You shift from constantly putting out financial fires to proactively managing your company's future. It's a total game changer.
So, how does this actually happen? First up, speed. Specialized outsourcing partners use professional-grade systems and processes built for one thing and one thing only: efficiency. All those repetitive tasks that might take your team hours can be streamlined, sometimes even automated, which dramatically speeds up your financial workflows. Next, you get to unlock your team's hidden potential. By lifting that heavy weight of routine tasks, you seriously reduce the administrative pressure on your people. And this isn't just a nice morale booster. It actually frees them up to do higher-value work, like analyzing data, spotting trends, and contributing to big-time business decisions.
And here's a benefit that I think is often overlooked: the impact it has on your external partners. When your payments are consistently on time and accurate, you build this incredible reputation as a reliable, trustworthy partner. And that trust, it's invaluable. It leads to much stronger, more stable relationships with all your suppliers.
Now, I know there's often this fear that outsourcing means replacing your people, but actually the opposite is true. This is not about replacement, it's about support. It's about empowering your experts by giving them the most valuable resource on the planet, time to actually think.
So, think about this for your own business. If you could free your team from that daily grind of processing invoices and preparing tax forms, what new opportunities could they uncover? What new value could they create? That is the real operational advantage.